Hello motherfuckers, welcome back to my motherfucking channel. And today we are officially entering our The Weeknd era, girl, because today we are going to be reacting to Thursday of the Weeknd. Okay. Now if you're wondering like why isn't he doing the first album, which is House of Balloons, I already did it, okay? A long time ago. I was messy. I didn't really know the order of the albums, but we're about to go in order, okay? This week, next week, the next week, the next week, the next week, the next week, we're gonna be going in order, okay? And he's about to drop a new album, so we're gonna be here for that too. Gag. So I do have a playlist of the albums I previously reacted to, which it was just House of Balloons, Echoes of Silence, and After Hours. So I have reactions to those. If you want to see them, they're in the playlist below in the description. But let's get into this. But before I start, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build a little community here. Do I have to say it again? We're in our The Weeknd era. Okay, so if you want more, it's coming. Okay? Well, let's get into this. Okay, so the first song on this project is called Lonely Star. Let's go. Okay. Oh, I'm living. Oh. Okay. That falsetto. Every Thursday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That was interesting as an intro. It's setting up the album for what it's supposed to give, I feel. Now, okay, you guys are gonna hear me say this a lot with The Weeknd, but I always said when I used to do his music back in the day, his music gives me haunted strip club music. Okay, if you can imagine that, just what that means, yeah. But like it, you know, like, do you see it? Because I see it. I don't know. This woman is saying she only exists on Thursday, only exists to please you on Thursdays. It's giving prostitute, kind of, but at the same time it's giving the only time she's having a good time in her life is on Thursdays when she sees The Weeknd. Abel, hey, it's just like weird. I don't know what to think so far, but it is a bop at the same time. The Weeknd knows how to give you bops. I love his beats. They're always very interactive and just moving like you through the entire song. Love that about it. Let's keep going though. The next song is called Life of the Party. Okay. Okay. Stop. It's giving me like rock star vibes. Okay. You know, that first song really kind of threw me off a little bit. You know, I had to like really this was the first The Weeknd song, okay? So I had to like really get myself into it. This song right here, girlfriend. Now, you need to understand what I mean when I say haunted strip club music. Especially the early work, it really gives me that vibe. Let's just say this. We're in the back of a club somewhere in LA, okay? Or Las Vegas, whatever. And we're, having the greatest time of our life. There's drugs and alcohol everywhere. We're just having a ball. That's what The Weeknd's music gives me. I am not a drug user, okay? I don't even smoke weed anymore. I don't even drink, okay? So, but like, I know a bop when I see one and hear one, So it's not really that relatable, but I can move to it, okay? Like, period. It's giving you're only the life of the party when you are on these substances, okay? So it's like a dark undertone to it, okay? The music is banging, but there is darkness in it. But we're gagging, okay? At the end of the day. So let's keep going. The next song is called Thursday. Ooh. Oh, the beats always get me. Okay, the title track to this album, amazing. I'm living for this, and I'm honestly not surprised. I love The Weeknd and I love his music and just the visualization of it all. I said that I feel like I'm deep in a strip club somewhere, drunk out of my mind off crazy substances and stuff. I still feel that way, but like. So, like, what is it about Thursday? I have, like, a little theory, but I'm going to save it for the end of the video when I give my overall review. But Thursday is the day, okay? Like, don't call me Wednesday, don't call me Monday, don't call me any day besides Thursday, because Thursday is going down, okay? And he needed to make that very clear here on this song and this album. But I want to know the meaning. Why? Why Thursday? Somebody let me know. So far he's not beating these allegations for me. The haunted strip club music is just, it's there. It's fucking there. But another way I could like describe it is like a lullaby, but like for somebody that's on substances, drunk out of their mind, just a lullaby. This is the kind of music I would listen to at the end of my nights, after drinking as much as I can, like just sitting down on the couch, like head low-key spinning, but this is playing in the background. That's the vibe, and I love that vibe, So I'm excited to keep going. Let's keep going. The next song is called The Zone featuring Drake. Okay, wait. Okay. interesting take here. I am not a Drake fan, like, at all. Like, you know, he does have some bangers. I will admit, you know, that everybody at least has like a handful of bangers. And Drake definitely does. But I can't with Drake. He's just not my fave. But why did he low-key eat here? Like, I can't even be a hater. I am going to be real when real is needed, okay? And that was kind of good, okay? I wasn't expecting much, but I like what I got, you know? And this song right here kind of like just puts this whole album into perspective. It's a zone, okay? When you're listening to this album, like I just explained, like at the end of the night, this is that kind of album, you know, where you're listening to it when you're in that zone. When you're coming down, but still low-key want to party a little bit in that kind of zone. I love it. I'm actually obsessed with this. This was dropped in 2011. Blowing my mind right now. Absolutely blowing my mind. It feels ahead of its time. I was thinking like 2016, maybe 2015 at the latest, but 2011 is nuts to me, okay, personally. The Weeknd, though, he was, I personally think The Weeknd is better than Drake easily. Those vocals really just, they really put him there, okay? Those falsettos alone, girl, he is one of the best singers of our generation, easily. And I mean that too, like, it's just so prevalent. I can't think of one male vocalist from this generation that can do it like him, okay? And that's why I'm really here, because these songs are giving me everything that I need right now. But let's keep going. The next song is called The Birds Part 1. Okay. Okay, he's calling himself a bird. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. But I have a few questions here. Because at first I thought it was giving, you know, falling in love is for the birds. But he is comparing himself to a bird. Or just saying, I'm a bird. Let me stop, okay. Like, you know, people call girls a bird ass bitch, you know, I just think it's funny. But he's not like the person that a kind of person that you should fall in love with, because it's just not going to end well for either one of you. And he's just trying to warn you. I love that. You know, I love a good warning, a good red flag, knowing that they're a red flag. Okay, so it's cute. Okay, let's keep going. The next song is called The Birds Part 2. Okay, go on. What the fuck? Okay. That kind of proves everything that I was just saying about the first part of that song. He's not the kind of person that you want to fall in love with. Okay, now the whole album is kind of making sense to me, okay? So only on Thursdays he can cheat. on this girl that fell in love with him, and you know, he faked it basically and said, I'm a bird. That is just still so funny to me. I'm a bird ass nigga, and you cannot. I'm sorry, we're just not. It's not gonna be a thing. That's terrible. It's terrible. I'm not even gonna lie. It's terrible, and I feel sorry for this girl because nobody should ever have to go through that. But I mean, he warned you. You know, you can't change everybody. But I do love that he is sorta like putting it in the music and making it alive. You know, like a shitty person for sure, but good music. Question mark? Gaga? Question mark? But I feel like maybe in real life he's not really like this. This is just his way of creating, you know, and I love it. I love it so much because it's coming off very good. Okay, so there is a storyline within this album, which I love. I love that about albums, so yeah. I really loved that beat in particular. There's a few beats on this album that I loved. And I will talk more about that when I get to the end of the video, when I rate this album. But that bird section, the part 1, part 2, so good, okay? So clean as well. And I felt like it could have been a full song, but you know, it probably would have been like 10 minutes worth of a song. So I do like that he split it up. It was good, okay? But let's keep going. The next song is called Gone. Okay, I have a feeling that that might be my favorite song on this album so far, surprisingly. And everything just keeps like hitting me about this album. He's so gone off of these meds, you know, just what he's doing, the substances that he's doing is making him feel this certain way. You know, he said he's numb from the neck down. This man has been through a lot, obviously. He said he's only 21. And this was before rapping and like singing about doing substances was really like a big thing. Like, I feel like that really took off in like 2014, 15, 16-ish with like the Migos and, you know, that style of music. So this, once again, ahead of its time for sure. But it's just the way that that song really was laid out, you know, just the production overall. I will get into the production at the end of the video, but I just want to say for this song in particular, it's really what this album is, okay? Like, it's a zone. Like, with the song The Zone, this whole album is a zone.
What I was basically getting at here is it reminds me of just like stages of grief, or just stages of healing, or just stages of whatever he is going through. That's really what I was trying to convey in this little tangent or whatever. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the video.
But that switch up in the middle of that song, the whole beat switch up, it really just stuck with me a lot, and I think that's really why I'm obsessed with this song. That ending, the end of the song beat was amazing. I was really just here, you know, just vibing to it. It's such a good album so far. But let's keep going. The next song is called Rolling Stone. Okay.
Girl, you thinking about it, what we got here, how we fucking got here. I'm in a life without a home, so this recognition's not enough. It's getting faded too long. Got me on this rolling stone.
There's like a build-up going on.
Another serotonin.
Oh my god. The vocals here.
Baby, I got you.
Sing to me. I love that. Okay, that was very different for this album. Kind of like it was a little anticlimactic, okay, for this album, because this whole album we've been experiencing, 808s and just beautiful beat drops. This was more it felt like there was gonna be a beat drop coming, but it was just very flatline and serene almost. There was like drips of water, I guess rain in the background. And like over this, what was that? Like a little guitar-ish sound. The song was called Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone was a band in the 60s. So it's like, it's making sense there. But also, when people compare themselves to a Rolling Stone, they're just not a good person, like that's what they're saying, is just like, I'll be here, but I'm not gonna be here. But he's saying he got you, girl. Beautiful. The vocals really stood out here with that flatline beat. Like I was saying, there was really it wasn't much, but it was beautiful. Really love that. Really, really love that. It's one of my favorite songs from this album. Let's keep going though. The last song is called Heaven or Las Vegas. Let's go. This beat, my God. He's crazy. I love these outros on this album so much. Okay, that was a great outro for this album. I feel like it was beautiful. That was good. That was a good way to end off an album, okay? Now what's crazy is I have a lot to say about this album, but I'm gonna get into that in my full review. But I saved almost every single song on this album to my playlist, but I just don't think that it's his best work, and I'll get into it in a second. But I think that this really just wrapped it all up. That outro really wrapped up this album in a very, very good way. But now it's time to get into my overall review, my rating of this album, and my top 5 from this album. Let's go. Okay, my overall review for this album, if I could put it into one word, it is ahead of its time. That's not a word, it's a phrase, whatever. I do think it's ahead of its time. This album could have been dropped in 2016 and would have been huge. The Weeknd really didn't take off until 2015-ish, around that era. And I feel like because people were listening to it and they were just like, what is this guy talking about? Little did they know that everybody would sound like this. Not exactly sound like this, but the music would sound like this within a couple years, okay? Now, I really want to, I'm gonna compare him to somebody, and I feel like he is the male version of Lana Del Rey, okay? It's a completely different style of music, but it's the same at the same time. Like, I can't explain it. If you listen to Lana Del Rey, you know. Both very heartbroken, okay? And they put that energy and that just soul into their music. And it just makes the music sound very good and very well received, okay? But I feel like that's why him and Lana Del Rey make such good music together, because they're both very sad, okay? They've both been hurt really bad. And I think that this was ahead of its time for a few reasons, just because people nowadays would gag over something like this. I feel like early The Weeknd it's something that we're never gonna experience again, okay? And I'm just so glad that I'm here finally listening to this music, because I always say I love when people put their sadness and just hurt into music, because it just makes it sound that much more better and it feels real, okay? So I really do have a soft spot for this album, although I did say that this album just isn't my favorite. I just think that it's gonna get better over time. This is the early Weeknd, because throughout this album he wasn't really speaking about much, okay, besides cheating, substances, prostitutes, and Thursday, okay? But I feel it in the way that people can relate to this album, so I don't think that it's a terrible album whatsoever. I just think that I wanted more, okay? So I get my ratings from these albums from these 5 categories: vocals, production, consistency, writing, and the album cover itself. The first category is vocals, okay? Now, when it comes to The Weeknd, I already said it in this video, no man right now in the industry is seeing him when it comes to these vocals. The way he delivers them, the falsettos, just everything about his voice is beautiful. So on this album, I'm going to give these vocals a 10. These vocals absolutely ate. They carried a lot of the songs, and just over these fascinating beats, it was beautiful. Okay, so 10. Okay, the next category is the production. OMG. Let me just rip it off the gate right now. That was weird. Let me just put it out there right now. I'm going to give the production a 10. Every single beat on this album felt like an adventure, a journey, okay, through the song. It really made you lock in, sit down, and actually listen to the song. I love that. I love that so much, because this was 2011. The very early 2010s had a very signature when it came to music and the way everything sounded. This didn't sound like that at all, okay? It felt ahead of its time. I love that so much. So yeah, these beats on this album easily get a 10 for me. Everything sounded so solid and just beautifully produced, okay? Gag. Okay, now the next category is the consistency. How well this album sounded overall. Did it have replay value? And it did. It definitely did. I'm going to give this consistency on this album an 8, okay? It just felt a little off here and there sometimes, but an 8 is a very solid rate for the consistency, I feel, especially for this album. I feel like this is early. It's early for him. It is early for him. This is his second project according to Apple Music. So I know that he was just testing. It's giving he was testing the waters, and the albums are just going to get better and better over time, okay? Okay, now the next category is the writing. Okay, I was a little disappointed here. And that's where I was going and talking about, he wasn't really talking about much besides cheating, substances, all this other stuff. I don't think it's a bad thing, because the album did sound good, but it wasn't really hitting all the right spots when it came to the writing. So I'm going to give this writing a 7, But I still think that there are a few songs here and there on this album that it did stick out a little bit, and it was good. I don't think that he's a bad writer. I think that this was just a miss, personally, okay? Okay, the last category is the album cover. This album cover really is kind of like just blowing my mind a little bit, and I want to add this right here. So my little theory I had for the album being called Thursday is because everybody by Wednesday is over the week, okay? I mean, even by Monday, everybody's over the week. But by Wednesday, they're seriously over the week. But when it comes to Thursday, everybody's just like, okay, tomorrow's Friday. Let's go. We're about to have a good rest of the week. Let's just do it. And that's what it's giving on the album cover. But when it comes to Friday, there's still a little color. But you got so twisted up that it's just like, ooh, okay, mess. You know, but I do think that this album cover does fit the vibe of the album. But I do think it's a solid album cover, and I'm going to give it an 8, okay? I don't think it's his best at all, but I think it's very solid for this album, okay? Okay, so if you add up all the scores that I just named here and divide it by 5, you get a total score of 8.6 out of 10. I feel like that is a very solid score for this album. Once again, it is very early in his career. It wasn't the greatest, but it's still great, okay? I think that's very solid. I want to know your guys' scores or how you feel about this album. Yeah. Okay, my top 5 from The Weeknd's Thursday is Lonely Star, The Birds Part 1, The Zone, Rolling Stone, and Gone. These were my top 5 in no particular order. I want to know your guys' top 5 in a particular order, whatever. Just let me know your guys' top 5. This was an amazing album and an amazing start to this era, and I'm very, very excited to keep going and just see what else he has to offer, the hidden gems, okay? So I'm very excited. Make sure you come back next week because we're going to Kissland, ladies. I'm very excited about that, and we're going to continue week after week after week after week after week until we're finished with The Weeknd. I'm going to rank his albums. I'm going to give you my top 20 of The Weeknd songs, and then I'm going to end off the era with the end of my Weeknd era and just read some comments and stuff. So if you want to be featured, give me some comments. But I guess that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Come back next week. And bye, motherfuckers.